Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
In some way a buy me sure say me know and several other people edo one or two mu. One a hun here say aso mine ye betu anamo etesa.
Okay.
By the time ye can yansa say me we are seeing na nipa ye na dwen say ontie.
Ne why you adwen na adwen so be ye no.
Yes, because na nkrofuko bi otumi. And no free say to me na nya de se be ba we yeda. Sa to me na manfo nya de chichiro man de boa man ma aman etumpon no. They decided to use the same political power. Say omo the best say on mind the bebubu on mind e dey say inuma. And that is exactly what happened. Now it was really heartbreaking because so what tenase na quantify and nema e course under President Akufo-Addo. And the decisions go into some of this way. We gave them all the necessary theories. And the SU Abontin, who here. Alaska, first of all, my culture says banks having liquidity challenges. It has always been people within the financial space will tell you.
That's right.
Because Ghana, one of the ways that banks lose power has to do with even your friends when it comes to security. Your friends saying people can easily intrude. Now we secure free banks when as because firewall almost security network now banks in the binom use you know if you are not very fragile.
Okay.
So it's so easy for people to just break in and whatever and these are banks at yearly. Now more count to their losses. Now those munya through security breaches in firewall breaches na and yesika ketwa. So some of these things are quite obvious. Sometimes oba beje bosinya de niema be besia wa we nipa na buy unhuni biem awa na the buy no so unhuni biem, and these things happen within the financial way. Sometimes that is why the risk your fancy insurance when the companies in as for we got to a time even all the credible insurance companies in you gugu ni nyina we na enterprise nkwana na because
right.
you can for that there and we a bank na obi abeji loan na say if you why insure kra na the financial insurance company do ni sika the babetu aka. So all the financial institutions became very troubled. It was quite obvious. I am not sitting and disputing say some of these banks not any problem. And again, it is true that some of the owners and the directors of the bank engage in a lot of foolish stuff, wasted money in as for no. But Alaska, you say ba na se oba no uka se ompia bonten kobobo na o se we pia bonten kobobo nti papa no ba ya o se wakuno. Asanka ide da bia nka be nka kunkura wo wiase nyina. You don't do that. That is why that is the difference between you or no ya akra na wo se for dem papa. That is a wide difference. One would the say you provide direction, alternative guide, and make sure say they get out of it. So akrana ya the bornia, you can punish akrano. But yam fanu ko ura toilet him say make aso nko bobo ntino. Obi ati obaksa wa bodam. Say wo say oba mane baby a TV no man mfa nsa nkoka TV na akọ no de nsa akoka. Wo say anu nti wo de ne kwese toilet him.
Ati wo twa ne nsa.
Ana yes, ana wo de ne nsa kwatare ja. Oh blame akwa no bakasa panyini no wura wonim nyansa. And that's exactly what happened with this banking sector then. I am not disputing that there were no challenges, quite obvious. It got to a time and I see here sika over saying 14 billion to revive 9 billion to revive these banks.
That's right.
Alaska, yet now see you so almost saying 25, 26, obviously 32 documents, or we change the figures, anytime. Right. Billion Ghana cedis and ye do good banks na ye gunu no ye create unemployment amount for sika kokam and most of the banks na egugu ye nu nyina no Alaska amount for nsa nka musika besin ne.
That's right.
Because I know amount for mudo musika kwaya some of these your friends financial investment or some of the banks and because the banks they folding up into sika besin ne omu tracy omunya. They said they were consolidating all the banks into a single bank to create the CBG bank. Alaska, go and look at the financial standing of the so-called CBG bank. So you see, that decision wasn't a wise decision politically, economically, and even socially. It didn't make sense. But nipa be the timode na brona jomoni or maju say ombegu bank. And the individuals involved were targeted. Look at Papaya, yes, a friend Amwabin. He has narrated his own story. At some point in time, Kenufurata wanted to even buy his bank. your friend saying Gold Coast investment papa Kwasindum ben narrating the story at Chira kwaya fa so ye good this bank na eni nyansa bia anim
Sedu
agongo ye say ne problem is say na sem court
on your punia some work.
and do you cannot own a bank
And you have a neck and for that, I say, we some work court.
Alaska. So and I'm catch say nsem bi ho na wo kan sometimes obi be ka say wudua ho bo ba bone akufo ado ne click ne kaba bebo wo kroma say no Alaska e bia na nyaka Ghana kwanka etene di omo asem but they are because winim makers of banks enya problems in na for yi I like to do comparative analysis about the discussion will be over ase Alaska some don't go back to 2008 America your friend say na George Bush na no your president but that he was exiting for your first Obama to come.
That's right.
So at the time no America was teetering on the brink of some your friend say depression na your friend say financial meltdown affected almost all the financial institutions. So Abra we bebekono Bush ebabekono. Then he introduced what he called Emergency Economic your friend saying Recovery Act 2008. All this program no buy. Out of that they created what you call TAP, Trouble Asset Recovery Program.
Okay.
And they realized that the financial space, companies are see a good FOD up. But some companies in America for Juma, some of the banks, JP Morgan Chase had a problem. Your friend says City Group, any problem. Funny Mike, any problem. Ubenya, your friend is saying most of the major financial institutions in America, including AIG, American International Group. I want to know more sponsor Manchester United.
Okay.
AIG, that was American International Group. It was an insurance company. When you know problem, can you know begu? But Obama who say, "San Crofo when you know farm for you company do say na mabodin almost be na edonso e ko be 20." Say you know gua. Nipa no mo ye adwuma for this company are not from China.
They are
Americans. So adwuma sembe problem. The employment statistics in America will drop, which will make the government and even the entire economy a bit way. So they through the your friend saying the TAP program they made available $700 billion available for trouble assets.
Wow.
So they allow takeover, emergence, your friend say merger, takeover, merger, sir, and I said your friend say cash injection where necessary, just to ensure say these companies will stabilize. That is what the government did. And then you can go back and check the internet. The companies in Amabodi, go and check their financial standing in there. And think for other kind of subinanka yoko guni na how many banks. After that, there are a lot of for the past 4 years, Afibia Bank go America. Bank be by a friend Signature Bank. Bank be now the last 2 years in a Republic Bank. By America, Casa Bank when you say a good ayraw. No.
Okay.
The very moment you show symptoms of liquidity, your friends saying challenge I overwhelming. I want to be recovery pet in the quickly now. The Treasury Department and other department will come in, negotiate your exit for somebody to take over.
Okay.
So that the new person will come and inject capital into it, own maybe a larger percentage. And not because I will file for your friend saying, say bankruptcy in as a for normal. Then it means that the whole corporation need to fold up. A fold up, Nipo muye juma for it in Abekofie. So the initiative is that whenever you begin to show these signs of economic financial distress, then the Signature Bank has been taken over. The Republic Bank has been taken over, and there are America. You go to a time almost best 7 banks a failure on the go. So, but they make sure say there was smooth transitional. You never why we save your bank or no? Won't say you be a news, and as a way abreast with the never acquire, you will never see say bank be taking over.
A
normal thing, normal transition. Your friend saying backlist acquire or turn the way at the man. Your friend is saying Afsa in terms of a WTVB.
No,
we a customer affected. Do you want to be a bank diasa?
But at the same bank.
By the same bank, nothing has changed. Because Ebia, na Menka say na backless e liquidity. They decided to leave
No,
the source.
just instance now.
So just your man say na backless face liquidity challenge. And APSA for say we can inject cash, take over, and then you exit, we take over. And they are taking over asset, liability, everything, and inject capital into it just to make sure say and then obi now adwuma Barclays Bank bi aguso oye adwuma ene erusu na adwuma sa na ban nyansani esa wo ye adwuma ba sa nkrofo ye hye coat akese koba ene mo nam kwanche mo ye dedei mo no mo se so mo ko school no Alaska. These people were operating on baby's brain. Enkora adwena na mo de ye adwuma na adwen we adwena na se metie ma chekire ma kire wo
baby's brain.
Alaska. P2 ni adwen okwa na ya no amo ne okura ne we na ekura sa adwene na mo de bu o man.
Okita food woman.
Yes, because we told them say you do not do some of these things. But Alaska, omo ye ya ehu say sa niema no omo amfa omo ho anjima banks ni begu. Because ma we dem fi say like America, for instance, a diner man for out, banks doesn't a pre-finance. And it's a bank in Ugua. Another day, no, there will be a mortgage crisis. 2.3. Because banks in the pre-financing those things, and the payment will come from the person through the banks. The banks will pay the real estate company. So always, the banks, are there operating for profit, but one way or the other, they are also helping the country in one way or the other.
So the money is in circulation.
Exactly, because the banks, take mortgage finance in the free man. Nipa be dey nyadan aban wuntimi ntam sika se beje ko han dan wuntumi. So these institutions are there to provide that cover. That is why you save them. You find that in private companies you more running or chrome or your business or for Ghana for more yedme. If I know munya or more away free. Because no single corporation can go to Bank of Ghana and say Bank of Ghana and
That's right.
So you need to take from the commercial banks. Either your friend says state owned, private or semi. So if they fold up, how do they operate? The economic the private sector will fold up. And as long as the private sector fold up, or mind bebo. Sanyan Sawe and now we were advocating for Akufo-Addo and his lieutenant say yemfa yengu bank
Amaya also pesika.
So what's the papa syndrome? I take foolish decisions, and as a result of that, or the banks, akko in a state ye we ya cheno financial court kodina sem as papa syndrome. Say agongo or say agongo agongo no just saying agongo
Sedu agongo
agongo na what why near ma Emma bank akwaye C1 tanya ofana ne boni a why no na wa prosecute no ho but bank ne there come there is nothing like private bank.
That's right.
There is nothing like private bank. The very moment I will be open doors Emma nipa be wuram no aban na ewuram because the people are represented by the government.
That's right.
So whenever private bank open the doors, then nipa ko wuram this koye business aban because aban it is aban adwuma so be boss ankrofo no ho ban.
Because you are operating on the laws of the
exactly. So aban adwuma no so be bo ankrofo no ho ban. Even though you are a private bank, you won't be near the ope. Won't be near the ope. And the state must always move in to protect these vulnerable people. But Akufo-Addo ene baumia ene ono nam so pepres ena make say Ghana nye serious country because etire we na adwene we ne edibu o man. Don't forget at the time Kendo Foriata ne your friend say baumia na no ye economic management way.
That's right.
These decisions on several occasions baumia rationalized them.
I'm not chair.
Yes, he was the economic management team leader at the time. Under him the economy tumbled. And Alaska post that her name is CC Okroma saying Abra Yajeje a man for Google banks in the CC Okroma saying the economy tumbled, the economy crashed, unemployment rose to unimaginable height, inflation in every single economic indicator statistics in this is be a war my because economic akana down no fasika na wifi na what oh yes, and you have not replaced it with a better alternative.
That's right.
You didn't come up with any sensible alternative. I bet me a cover for what you left behind. So beyond the politics, there was nothing. And aside that, ne wafasi anum ti si krom na yesi ye bon kwase abose ya ne Kendo Foriata no wa ye ne wa yeah mediocrity. These people were celebrating loans are yakwa.
No, obi kurum kobo busia say Dubai because of my hitting jackpot.
Yes, the yakwa euro bond market Ghana, it has been oversubscribed. No, what it media be so na oversubscribed because Ghana, Alaska, what raising coupon rate as high as 9, as high as your friend say 8, 7. You know when am I meto? And over and I make say uncle for minim say muram no muko school say dey sometimes the way they talk no odwen how want here. Alaska, me raise coupon. America will go to the financials your friends say bond market I could raise bond ebia percentage that say 3, 4. Now what is a Ghana yebi? Na Ghana dey na 9 when am pem faso. Everybody will come and buy. And this a kwabrane koye sade no oba no catch us say it has been oversubscribed into no that doesn't even make sense, but majority of the people are gullible.
That's right.
The media themselves, majority are gullible. They don't even understand these things. Now what for gumsa keke economy no hejidi abam yakobo bosia yenya na ho kobo wasara wo ho akire wa kobo bosia no eno no
na ye bobusia celebrate.
Yes but ye wo kroma say enti me catch us at the time no na ye woni pass ye revoking the license and ye Akufo Addo ne ba wo me as president. Oh yes. Because they show signs of reckless incompetence. Financial distress on their side was more than these banks were showing. Now banks in the day no more yes, there were genuine instances some and any part of involved because ya fa birim ja birim ho.
That's right.
Also for another bank annoying.
Pastor mentioned
good. Say story in the Bible until what say omo ye directors ni we omo bobosia from bank omuntua. Omo nyina ye ja omo nenam ho. Then ye he omo ye aligned and affiliated to NDC no. And the yampeki omo na se enti na omo de abrante ba kwen ko jail ni na sefo no na kroma e pani pesa oda jail kenoforiata onenam ya hwe na yenhu no. So Alaska I think say the processes and President Mahama na be no akasa GM Bank yamfa ne license ma no.
Okay,
it has to go through a process. And the process in a true court process because this whole thing in the last 7 years now has been in the court.
That's right.
Almost setting up arbitration a court on my year several way. But for purpose you know why they I like the perseverance on his part.
That's right.
Yeah, because I'm for boniti so. For Alaska or the investment people say for the Gold Coast there, but a man for Musika was there no.
Gold Coast fund man. Some name if you group into Gold Coast fund management and wow. About 65% so 80% of rural banks na ho no more investment wo.
Good. I saw for you do musika kogu or kopem faso. Yes, I saw for be the correction and the church your friend say we akwa kogu ho. Anche na egu ye. And I saw maso ya mo na be odan. Alaska. So it was a financial way not a managing asset. It was an asset management firm.
Oh.
That is the point it got to. Real estate in as for yegunu tom ya nwene ho the consequences ebe follow. It got to a point Papa Kwasindom osi krom kra ne life was in danger.
A kaura
from a dumawura to a kaura. Ne kase hanyan and ordinanam to Alaska and you see our restore licenses no. Kra ne papa munie. Because the momentum, the mojo, everything is gone. You are now coming to start most of the areas and dying on revival. So even if he's going to start, it has to be small from somewhere. Because there is no cash overwhelming GH Bank all over BM. Investors now will be wary because this kind of are buying bibeba. You bet me invest in banking. John Mahama na my assurance say he will create a fertile way. Alaska, in the future, what if Sam Krofo we samba bieba? What is the guarantee? So investor will be very well calculated.
Bank nuclear credibility.
It's on the line. What is here? So for me, GN Bank, the Alaska, it's almost done because baby okokoduru, it will take years for them to get there. Yes. So if you use this to highlight the crimes and the ills, the incompetence, the reckless mismanagement, Akufo Addo ne enya ne say no mote ho a and na Afenyo market and quote mi nya kokodro ne nam radio so keka nsem hunu ne sabe nkura sesam kire Ghana for no thinking say Ghana for we fi these things.
That's right.
Now what can Ghana for your short memory ampa because these things are near a farmer for life. A brim for who we are. A brand see a bit of an example. I say, no, bank manager, our bonny suit. Now, or your friend saying, bank manager, so him.
That's right.
And we are not to talk away or crying.
Contrary.
Yes. Psychological trauma will go through and to reconcile, say, hey, bank manager too will be a method to praco or crying home. The gap, we are strong mentally, you will break down.
Also, to me, call construction. Or call construction in Crabia 1 month to know could be there because or coba no ya.
So my point in is going forward, it's not just about restoring banks licenses and as a form within the banking sector. What is that? Your friend saying legal framework are designing just to ensure say there will be punitive sanctions are biting enough. There will be proper regulations and making it possible for owners of banks and then as a forum to take money and reinvest in other senseless enterprises at the financial challenge the Bank of Ghana so the oversight responsibility send a city here. Because why did you also sit down for these things to happen? It means your supervisory role was a bit lax.
Someone was sleeping on the job.
Exactly. Because Bank of Ghana was supposed to be up and doing, ensuring say the various agencies, department, and what employing say on the supervising these financial institutions, will be active every day. You know what is happening. And Kayenya will be a Sikano dia to say in the bank in a bambo no I found out there could be a bank for you know the person will not have the luxury to do that. What I say? Right. So sometimes we focus on the symptoms, but the actual cause of the problem we seem not to be interested. Because I told the idea, you ban NDC NPP politics. Now you're fascinated quite him. Because GM Bank didn't say for buy where you expect people to make legitimate, reasonable, your friends say economic and political analysis. I bet him they justify why in a country I saddled with unemployment challenges in as for them. You bet for 21-25 billion Ghana cedis. A dear good bank. Our bank, here just a liquidity support of 9 billion. No, because I say Nyan Sabe in the womb. That's in spite of the fact that yes, I never win. You co-create unemployment. You man for kofie that a major part of the economy will crash. So it's a never win. And it's not just GN Bank, Alaska. Boga banks now. Your friend microfinance. They collapse almost 300.
That's right.
Nationwide.
More than that.
Yes, 300 nationwide. And then you targeted or political affiliation. Maybe a because they wanted to take control of the financial. Abronye Mahama, president, Data Bank was in deep shit.
That's right.
Deep shit, but he never ever contemplated. And today these jokers are out there saying, Mahama neye, almost already or tell free speech. He doesn't even look like it. Because I'm making a mutina ye, Nankaya. Mesenka manfo nam Togo mu nam ngura mo ko mu nyuru ye. Oh masa.
Aya wonna wo ye president.
Oh mesenka manfo de omo bag be fa ngura mu omo mfo ka. Na nka omo san la ye ko Togo. Na se Mahama de amamo atufo bo. Ono de na oye. Ko boni asa nkrofo we yanti no. Boni asa nkrofo we yanti no. You need to pay them equally. Na sebi ni pamfo nsu nyansa. Because Alaska, you cannot live a life without consequences. Na nyankopon nya on the boy.
Ono.
Na yase oba abrabo oba wiase na obobra pa so oba ye odan
oba twe waso
no kan ye on twe waso do be sejam na wonipa wonipa adwomo no ndutima do bi be sejam
adwomo ni nipa ni
yes
by extension ba
say nyame na nkaso pa che boni wo no so ni tim yes that is why when all threatens or do be sejam until abrabon the choice is yours, leave it well. Nanka neme wo wiase nyina wanya de papa bia sa o de baye ntanza o de ekogu jam
so do mangomra
na ye de obi sejama ya de papa e de chese nyankopon kwa recognize consequences. How much more ye as a human being ko nyame na hu se nipa me na me bo nipa ba nipa yi nipa boni ni enti ba me so me nche se me so me ye nyame boni na yes wo ye papa oba che so nyame papa na wo ye boni a oba che so no so nyame boni
na me show
exactly. Now let's get Obia Bakaso Basho de na boni ni utima. Obetima ka che nipa so ba hye no. banyame so obehye yen
adambe tu jatanam
jana kra yankase ja mero yesi jatana dere na wo what wa for wanibu
endumu da
yes wosemhunu we ya kwahye nipa saa forever saa no se nyankopon so obeye saa de we ya how much more ye yete ha
that's right
na kwabra ni di bone ya se o ye de nyame ma nyame na ye ne ma no se obehye yen se ye ni nsam so a consequences da ho atwan ye na kwabra ne betra kro mebo sa nkwase akro no we na wafa ne ho adi no nenam kwabra ne ba betake decision wa go banks na wa ye amanfo papa no mahia for by force wa say amanfo future wa say we all sector sa so police ne fe na gojo yi se hane so sa akwa we ai no no namba onam court udi nsem hu no kwa no digumi won fe ne say egofo no dame ka kire amanfo say o se we no ka kire no papa lawyer ye okọ TV3
Martin Kwebu
Ebu say odene kan ho say be case ni be dan
case ni ebedimu but meanwhile papa na
onka obi papa o wo born ne bra arise through a police ACP
edina ko to afia
ya dina ko to afia se dina ka say obetu abanya to agu because ya dina kan ho ma case na ye de
anana odami ninam say
this joker is today masquerading, moving from bank to court to court, telling people what he negotiated with somebody to have Atofos in jailed.
That's right.
This joker today is making noise about free speech. You know why? Alaska, me dear, that be America. Oti o maimu. Na se nipa se obebo brabone ya. Managers are brabone no consequences were home because over the years that is what happened. If you go to other jurisdictions,
that's right.
That is what happens there. Because last time I catch African kwanda here from kwanda ko jail. South Korea, my cite example amount. The heir apparent to Samsung group of companies, Papa na bra no nyanwu no, Neba made a move with a certain president just to ensure some big way using the Samsung company. What people don't know is that Samsung na South Korea company.
Okay.
Yes, a honey free. So Papa na owner na oba be wunne bana na obedina adie no. With a certain president then, president no koda jail, Abronye no koda jail. South Korea.
Right.
And watchi and that our president Bako has been sentenced to life imprisonment.
Life imprisonment.
Because with him the or declare martial law Abronye so declare. Yet Tiana soldier for parliament. They see parliament could not even investigate itself to tell us who invaded that parliament. No, my way is serious. But see Obi as a president you say what my authorities say declare martial way. Abra any so
and look at life
Yetuno as a president, or Yetuno as a president, because they passed the vote of no confidence in the president, and aside that, he has been convicted by a court of competent jurisdiction. The president is serving a life jail is the first sentence. Consequences, but my team, nipa no ogu amam for bank, and or not you be mine so or your ma, and the jokers following him today are all over making noise. Now, besides, say, what is your moral credibility to be going about making noise? And I'm going to say, media na yama they be looking normal. So NPP is trying to jump over a face. A face, yeah. Omubegu omani masi say Ghana no. They think say Ghana for can just forget. Now you may no NDC NPP. Where you say, and that is what the media is falling for.
No, not all of us.
So and then Boni no Modi, including this bank Yasema Yekan, they want us to forget all. Now you're coming to a level of NDC near NPP near say. No, it's never true.
Right. Ivan Che Innocent, a youth activist. Ono na uti in Kasian in the Triton Common. Akashima song na no nine abo. My main kinka messages are Abba Nibi. Frederick
got into a pointer. Sa era free speech na constitution a guarantee no certain individuals be ayo margin say now they have lost power badly. Now a political party no ehonye Ghana for akono ya kasi a policy discussions track record of political parties are there will be nothing sensible to be brought to the table for any kind of comparative analysis. So now the strategy now they say you go about using some of these tactics just to distract the government. So that people will find sympathy for us. So it's a emotional campaign, and I'm for them no advocating, and that is why I've advocated say the security agencies, some of the issues are so nonsense that they should not even fall for it.
Wow.
Because when you're careful, you end up using state machinery, state resources to promote fools.
So it means you side with Opariado.
Exactly. If you're not careful, you use the nation's security machinery to promote idiots. People who don't deserve the attention of even a cat. Alaska, you end up pushing them to a higher political prominence for discussion.
Wow.
That is why some of the issues, yes, ignore it, but some are petty to the extent that the security agency should know better. Because you see, Makacha, that is the grand strategy of the NPP. Now, Brante Yokotrano or Kansem who are TikTok, Sabaumia went to his house, Kokobona Baso.
That's right.
So the gentleman is a shadow sponsor of this nonsense going on social media because he has no credibility, no track record to be telling the people, say, me as a vice president, I did this, I did that. But your casa NDC, repress there, Obiaba come to our aid. And that is the strategy. So as a government, you must also be smart enough not to fall for this nonsense, especially the security agencies. But Onyaye, because as long as they are doing it, still people are doing it. Because for them, they see themselves as martyrs of this political nonsense. Because Alaska, and I want to be anymore.
FM 92.3.
Ebi a wontem wa wote kro obi animo. Na fa camera si wenu na keka nsem hunu. Na ochina ya ba fa wona obi ebo odin a. These people, they see that, and the former vice president will call you.
Because only Justin Kodia said, arresting them is energizing their base.
Exactly.
One of their strategies.
It's a strategy. And they will distract you. Say for the past 1 week in here, look at the economy. Are you aware? Say the rating agencies upgrade Ghana.
That's right.
Are you aware? Say you exited from IMF, Ghana a transition and Yankasa Yebe Fesika from Hadiabo Mine Hobos Ebradi Akoyanim. Now what's the media be discussing?
Nobody.
This is the nonsense they are discussing. So you don't allow the opposition to set an agenda for you and you'll be chasing defending. No.
So you mean, sir, we should allow the law enforcement agencies to do their work. Take government out of it. But we are stay focused.
And I make a say, if you're not careful, it is the national conversation that will be driven to an arena.
Okay.
About overshadow what you're doing.
You are right.
Alaska, I catch up for say. So what's the office now? In Yuma, that is the governance aspect of it. But communicating for people to know what is happening, highlighting it, giving it publicity, engaging the people, let the people be in the know, that is politics. And you need that to stay relevant and stay in power. That is the part the NPP extinguished in 2016. Look at all the good things John Mahama did in 2016. But he was branded a certain way. So the governance aspect, Mahama was the best. But the political bit of it, there was a twist by the minority, so they painted him black and he lost the election.
That made him worse.
Exactly. So that is the same because Amono they have nothing to lose.
Okay.
Now when I call election, now I call GNM say Alaska they be credibility to protect.
Alaji 38.
So this is what they are doing just to ensure say wona we your friend is saying we political party no and as we are buying our power no they will distract you off your friend saying cause. Now, when you're careful, you fall into some of these things. Then, yes, there are genuine. Oh, Alaska.
I was live on the radio until 92.3. That was Ivan Che Innocent, and I was telling you, we show time 12 minutes into 4 p.m. Bombardier, so the message is 0541 82 5106. Ivan.
So, as someone I can say, so we have your friend saying, Nema Ekosua. Omono a play in their favor and a work for them because over the possession they want to avoid. So they will set their own narrative, create their own way to lead the conversation, and it's the reason why we are here. Why now Macheno Nipa Abronye when he was doing those nonsense they didn't see, and again Abronye nyobi a ya banda on na court to prison. You can disagree with the judge. Me, I disagree with the judge to say, on condemn convince obedina semawie, and union sasem. But this is a court I can want some in the past. And some of us have been very consistent about some of the ills I a judicial system. And the fact is that we need to do our best to make sure that confidence once again will return. But Afenyo Markin, who recently was a beneficiary of a court, Obia Fridays, ultimately get to the Supreme Court to be empaneled, rule in his favor, to the extent that the Speaker of Parliament, Bufu, the subsequent case, he didn't go. Such a joker today has the infantry go around to tell people, say, the judiciary is what? And I'll say, Judge, Judge, no, and Siam, he didn't learn law.
Also, one part.
No, Okosia Koran, Okosia, yes. No, Siam law. Alaska, look at what the gentleman is doing in Parliament. On daily basis defaming the political party called the NPP.
That's right.
Because the NPP used to be a political party among for whom to be an arena where the elite thrives. Look at the party. When you have somebody like Afenyo Markin leading a political party, you can imagine the sort of problem at home. Since day one.
I'm not done pray.
These are people sitting with arrogance and ignorance all over. They don't make sense. Always say political conversation here murky, dirty. That is why they thrive best. But policy wise, decision wise, now Afenyo Markin here, your fans saying our credibility. Nkaku for other buy no. Sanka omodine baby.
Okay.
Somebody who cannot even be a minister because no one in him the otiso. Baby omodine koto ya ni ECG no. Look at way. These are the people talking. You understand? Me makase enisa yetieti obi afa ahudie so. And the security for say toda omuso omunyu so omadwene because you don't fall into people's track.
Okay.
The very moment you follow these things, you end up changing the national discourse and the whole thing will change. And some of the cases are such that you cannot avoid them.
Okay.
Because Obin Timin Tinaba being threatened is president and as for now we security because I wouldn't But some of the issues like Obisi Doom Saba, why will you go and rest Obi Doom Saba? Yansa Bene woman. Osi Doom Saba. What's my quachino? Or Quachinamana then? Oh, what I say? So near one be or ha. Or more can who be there, Babidru, a beer Babidru. But me point in the say, the NPP any more right today to be making the kind of case they are making. Alaska, at some point, na yen chinipa o, na ye kunipa.
Na yen chinipa.
Na I'm swally whatever. Then a bio mukuno. Anas was a darling boy for Ghana for. Alaska, what happened to Anas? It got to a point Omoko Fakin the Japan boy on the pa. Say on say Anas. And he confessed, me boy, on one account.
Very well.
After say, yes,
Anas.
Look at what they did to Anas. Journalists were hounded. They chased some of them out of this country. People were kidnapped. Now, but we are not to China, so he didn't know what was happening. Afenyo Markin was in Mauritius. And you know him there, Alaska, these are people with zero credibility.
Okay.
Who should not be entertained. Because my culture says, this is what they do best. They are distracting, saboteurs. And you cannot begrudge them because that is what they are good at.
Also, when they are in power, they do what?
They destroy. When they are in opposition, they are saboteurs.
Okay.
They will destroy things for you. And look at, because now the economy is taking shape. So we have a be a coup for the neighbor or mind the cocoa we now Mahama sister the pieces together or try to put the pieces together. Now Alaska, we have a be a Ghana na every hour be a record scandal or chroma in the last way. There has been no scandal. People take things for granted and they think the president is not working.
Seriously?
He's really working. But these people don't want it to go that way. Because the conversation cannot be good for Mahama. So in terms of policy, they cannot attack him. Economy no I didn't know economy. But today, no, almost said I got to be a frame bibi. They have a tag, no, say, yeah, chichinipa. Why not, yeah, chichino? Because a climate of intimidation has been activated in this country. And that joker called Mustafa Salamus and
that's right.
Or no, make this country ungovernable. No, that guy should be in jail. Afenyo Markin said, your friends say, unrespected lawyer, unrespected judge, and then as a forum. Alaska, and this guy walks around town, tells you, say, our license to practice as a lawyer, and as a law ban or practice.
Also, a law courtroom practitioner.
Oh, massa.
Alaska.
And see, the point in this, nothing has happened. These people have gone to a room. they have manufactured their own nonsense, exaggerated it, and selling it to feeble minds. That is what they are doing. Yeah, Omo them, and they've cooked their own package of nonsense, and Omo exaggerating, and they are selling to gullible minds. And there are a lot of cheap minds out there who buy this nonsense. You understand?
Exactly.
But some of these conversations, you know, what the baby manima met to two serena basa. I catch you say. Even in the worst case scenario, let us admit that Mahama is doing these things. Are you didn't you do worse thing? We are not seeking to justify. I say in the worst case scenario, if you are able to prove that indeed Mahama government is doing this, well, are you not guilty of the same thing? And what moral right do you have today to be making noise? Say a petition wine. Akufo-Addo ye chichi amanfo no ka kire amanfo so onye police nyo no chichi nipa na na Mahama na na maame na nam no mo chichi amanfo, right? Mahama ona na maame na ye police o mo chichi amanfo. These are jokers who should not be taken serious. And I want say Mahama ko wuro bi fie so akwache no. Is it not the same police?
That's right.
Abronye na ye say oye police ni on no chichi amanfo na the same gentleman is the same person. People are like say on a lead the arrest and everything. So it's the same police, nothing has changed. And NDC by or my pama police for Nina and I'm a coffin for Fraba.
Now, say NDC by the only change I'm making your no crash no over.
Obia Kaime, yes, your friends, Ruth Youngson. Alaska, okay, Abronye be fan a kaka.
Kaka, that's right.
Abronye kaka say, almost obisu obukuno. And our tro we have fair friend saying, petition the comma police and Hunyansa walk to a police station. I call report to say a bit threaten me because of my social media advocacy.
That's right.
Police for who knows when I for kaka no cry watch order. They locked the boy up. Eventually the boy got killed. And Akufo-Addo and Baumia.
That's right.
You see, these people have no credibility. Several other people died. Journalists are here, Burubinum, ye Chibinum, and Oma ye kidnap your money and Safonum. Me say what sense of shame.
Bongo ideas.
Yes, yeah, I'm kidnapping no. Or see the hoodie saying any ye ne ko ja no to twini wuram de omode be ye ni nyina wie ye. Maami ya na oti airport I say we playing to national signals blue director ye ko kidnapping no. Na ba umia o China. Enti no onya aware. You see he who comes into equity must come with clean hands. Alaska, credibility in politics is key. I catch say decency means nothing to dogs.
Decency.
Political decency, my men qualify no. Political decency means nothing to dogs.
And who are the dogs?
Alaska, so the point is the omo ye ni nyina ye dede and the strategy or more design.
Okay.
Because they think it worked for them in 2016. And this time round, no, Makacha said the political landscape in Assisa. First, no na media ni ho, na social media ni ho. Ah, obeti me kan sema. Those traditional media who didn't throw na time for happening. But then people can do their own individual research. People can read and understand. Sir, politics na design for gullible minds because those people don't read and write, you know. They think they can easily confuse them with these things, you know. Sir, politics in your juma biem. NPP be in opposition for almost 1.5 years. Still, they are still irrelevant on various social media.
But serious, I have only done me real who da nanado about 20 year on Ghana 69th birthday. I always see Ghana Massa.
Yes.
When it was since then, nanado ma.
Yes, Alaska. That is the overwhelming revulsion that Ghana for war.
And then go to social media. Look at the way Ghanaians are insulting them.
Alaska, Bonnie Ghana for Bedia. You see, the strategy are more designed say. Ghana for forget about era. Mahama na Bantian Canada.
Hi.
Entina no. The Unyanya acquired but also. Because the whole idea is to distract you so that you don't focus and do what you do.
That's right.
And that's what they did. And now Kwame Nkrumah be president. How many times a young chichire bomb wama a crack it to only 4, 5 years, 6 years near the bomb. They don't care. Yeah, the bomb was shining some uncle Kwame Nkrumah. Kwame Nkrumah to Flagstaff House, or General Kasa as a president. No, Kasa bodyguard Nigerian in China. Ya will burn the 2 hours and himself own Kwame Nkrumah. Or 2 no, and a security back didn't want Jay, and a Kwame Nkrumah live here. Kumbu, you see, Okam.
That's right.
And also the same bomb. So
I'm a forebearers.
Alaska, these are saboteurs. They thrive well when the politics is destructive, it's murky, wicked policies. What do Akunyana more? Omo mechichiro mine, they will come and destroy. No more. You can go back to Akufo-Addo era. and look at Ghana. Say na oh sibeto no bisa say dear Ben Obaba ye na no betra ka say power sector na these jokers are blaming Mahama. Mahama is the single biggest investor in Ghana's energy sector. From Kwame Nkrumah time till date. And I want somebody to come and challenge that. The universities around this country, we the Kwame Nkrumah see free movie are major universities you see around were built under NDC era.
That's right.
That was a do say no yeah. From Kufuor time besi en they invest in themselves. Alaska, they invest in themselves, make money, and then they go away, leaving the nation dry. Mahama by 2016, look at the bastardization and the demonization, but yet go to Legon Hospital. They see her bank hospital, your main bank hospital, and a more annex bank hospital near 2.
Really?
Maritime hospital, and several other initiatives for a course. So, circle, and then we do have free flow. Ninya significant way bay and a coup for which make us a signature project. I had back, I know, and will come say, okay, I say free SHS. Free SHS here. Alaska, and mekano,
right?
So one tisa near my way, I see you fall flat. So your securities, I think that they should get their priorities right.
Okay.
Because you cannot use their security to hype fools. Because some of the people, and then who newspaper be Abronye the anymore. Kind of correct. Abronye the newspaper. For the end. So, but then yeah, one away Yamana Basa. Oh no, nka na wiase a waba nyina obede oni newspaper anim enti wo no wo free sa wache no no na advantage man no
me na maba newspaper
and Alaska woche prako na de sha gatama o de na de aye no
oche dey
woche prako pig na wo to no twene gatama de na de aye no
gatama ho
exactly enti wa wo che no wo na wo ye wa wo che na kwase wo na wo ye nkwase adwuma
kako hu be fi
exactly
ho no fi
dem so me catch say me ye security ana me ya ban a na me yam say Alaska monkoche na nyare sa wo ba biemo because I will make sure say all the boxes in the law are taken red and you go there will be prosecution. I will never come for you and that is why I'm very angry with the security. Monkoche we actually amani be no na the issue dies the nyansa be in the womb.
So we are glorifying
as you are glorifying fools. That is it. You are glorifying fools and idiots because for them now let's go bit fanchine ko ba bi we obi anim no da na kwotena TikTok no odi president atam na de che na ye betoa ka pop akwakofa no na na ye ya so you get a lot of people doing those things.
That's right.
Exactly. So the security should be also be cautioned. Now we're making sure that they don't fall for some of this nonsense because these people do not even deserve the attention of some of these people. Because Nipana can't say the capacity to even execute it is another thing. Last time I came America, when it comes to your friend saying the Moody president actually coming from saying crowd here.
Right.
Your friend is saying Moody president Meka show. What they do, they say. Anywhere in the world, once you have access to internet and you type anything insulting an American president or threatening, they will pick it up. And then your friend is saying, why you did that, and whether you have the capacity to execute that particular threat.
Or that more intelligence you
because anything that goes into the internet and the internet picks it up. They design a system that will assemble all these things, and then they will compare American visa, back to yourself our social media, and then I say,
and a World Cup World Cup ye barbecue.
Yes.
Unim says who call American embassy what they tell you, ni say I was say social media handles no any public obi abetumi akai.
Yeah, that's what they do, and you know, omono. Because after they see May 9th, America has been very reactive to some of these things. And you know,
September 11th,
there is a growing anti-America sentiment in West Africa. Okay. I don't know why that thing is happening. So they are very much concerned about those things. Now, so started ideological. We say, "Oh, try name go Facebook," and normally you don't pay attention. For them, that is the starting point. And you know, those things now will be factored whether you have that anti-American tendencies in as a form, and the likelihood say Yamawaka but you can be a susceptible candidate. Obi aboni when it member you should because you have the sentiment within you.
And by this, they
deny a lot of people, but you don't know. They won't tell you. Nobody knows this. What I say?
Wow.
Yes. They will use it to because you see Diana enya obewo in the head omubu baby mo kan say
ye twaso
ni ntu ase yeah so he will not even
let you ye tu ase na ye twaso
be na o de buruburum
say bia enya obewo wani no ye twaso
ye tu ase so
said ye tu NPP na na do mo ase
and the American also the soft two ase so he will not even get you access to even come close then as a for them what are some American so that is what they do. So some of these things are things happening behind the scenes. And the security no bina nipanaka may say that the person even have capacity to execute in some now cano. Now we are security master say come and I to come. Wow. Near cacophony video. Yes, I'll be a name.
Black Maria.
I think there's many security in there thought about and sometimes you will not also blame them. Obina tiba be no man those silly directive thinking say he's working for the president. You are not working for him. You are rather bringing bad this thing to him.
Sir, a chain of command.
No.
Master say come.
No, Alaska. Me sometimes what think crophobia so much because these people are these are flies who should not even be on a national radar. They don't even see because they have come to the realization yes sana ya china. Baumia as a flag bearer will see him. Recognize no. But
Dr. Baumia gradually is becoming a nuisance.
Oh no, he's a nuisance and he's becoming a nuisance.
That is what I'll say.
I will say America with Secret Service assembly in America. Secret Service assembly in America. Yes, an agency created first. Juma pa major way. Yes, sir. Check counterfeit. That's what. Yeah. Oh yeah. But they protect the president of America and they scan through the internet. So the system designed in such a way that anything that goes into the internet that threatens, insult an American president that the internet will pick up will be collected through their system.
And you want to say and Ghana threaten president.
Forms like this, people will air their views in a forum. So now. The law has to be redesigned to cover these things because the same way the same thing social media.
That's right.
Social media is more valuable in terms of publicity than the newspaper.
Exactly.
One of the last time, yes, sir, and upon a morning show, graphics all kind.
Before Grandpa said we ever publish it, that's our news.
Oh, I had that. And then Cochrafone a kind newspaper.
Oh,
and Cochrafone, you have a headmasters. And kind newspaper. One of that. Now, what a joke kind newspaper.
That's right.
Because news now, hit you on newspaper, you're dead. So you don't wait for somebody to publish a newspaper. Now, what charging for libel or defamation, whatever. Social media has become a bigger platform. Challenge even the major platform now. So that arena must be regulated. And a lot of idiots are also on that particular platform. And never know, if it is inimical to the security, threatens the national cohesion, and the law need to work there.
That's right.
I am saying, sir, we should not go about intimidating people. But Alaska, you cannot say, Asam no kokano in social media no kokano. No, social media is an essential aspect of the political space. And
but don't it's a social media and so I contribute towards MPP's defeat.
Say social media today, Donald Trump in the campaign, no. Say no CNN for when they were giving him bad press because that is what they were doing. He was using Facebook, TikTok, and the Candice. Owen and on in but these people Candice at me your program over we any 3 million and CNN will take this to get that particular number. Alaska. So social media one platform panel can give you platforms TV stations or can take boom and when you're that particular wider audience.
But you know sir NPP grab disregarding social media.
So Alaska and social media there happen it's a world on its own. That cannot remain unregulated.
Okay.
It has to be. But the way we go about it, we can have a debate and talk about it. But the mere fact that there is a free speech doesn't give you license to go and talk nonsense. And go and say anything. There are countries who behind the scenes do profiling to know who said this, send no city and the capacity, and now a mongo, and now kind of keke. Not for them, but these things will be kept. As against our Maya, you know, we don't take those things serious. But the answer, Okana or Motedia, your Baba Chonen as a form. I think we need to move a step further. Not security, no. I think we need to do regular workshop.
Service training.
Yeah, we need to, because we are no buy 19 and 2. Training kronko bida. No one said buga de. Nemu anopano nyakoje na lomo numa. Just said. But
for now,
there are some who are also doing well.
But for now, Ghana Police Service has that modernization.
Oh, I think that the IGP is doing well.
That's right.
Oh yeah. Because in terms of investigation, arm robbery way, I think they are really doing well. They are really doing well.
And now, Opa show them not for to social media.
No, Alaska. You see. The cyberspace, you know, is an essential part of your social environment.
Okay.
You cannot ignore. And this is a me social media me trust minya Alaska mekuna. Do you think people should just let me go like that? Even if nothing at all now, somebody need to invite me and assess my capacity. If I can execute as something mekano and I mekano sa keke. Because as something me metwe no, ebi akwa nyame na mekwa kokun o. Obi betimi afa ho akoyo obibi. But when I say that, I put your life in, because you may have many enemies.
That's right.
Sansem hu na Canada Japan kodi ya ameso le ko wuye no.
It could happen crash onim ho hwe.
Oh, it could happen so onim ho hwe. But wano nsem hu nti no, obi ade behye wo. Uyi wa ho wano enyeye. Because akwatera radio say mo kira mo no metua ka.
Ka bia ba metua.
Obi koku no. Can you say unim ho hwe?
Enti na sa aka no.
Yes, would be to
right.
Dedi kama amena PENDREAM TV ase. Na so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.